The way she convulses her body, it stays with you. Whenever she's asking the little boy to come to the stage, and she's like having a witch-gasm. Just picturing her in my mind. It's very erotic.
Hey. It's Lord Bearing Beams.
Sup?
My name is Matt Stokes.
Sup? I'm Laci Roth.
And we're over it. Mood apathetic. We're here to talk to you about films, movies,
cinema, orchestra,
things we saw a long time ago. Mm-hmm. We have a lot of nostalgic attachment to them. For example, today's picture is The Witches. To a lot of people, it was a scary, fucked up thing they saw when they were young.
Who's the director? Okay, because I feel like people always think they know what The Witches is, but they're thinking of like Witches of Eastwick or Hocus Pocus.
All right, so to be clear, this is the movie starring and like which one had Angelica Houston, which one had Bette Midler, which one had Cher.
So okay, so you're saying any
all women
female
are the same, I'm saying.
With a strong nose might as well be mistaken for any other female with a strong nose.
Obviously,
as someone with a strong nose, sir, I will say there is a slight difference.
Obviously, that was exactly what I was saying. I resent you for calling me out.
I was just saying, you picked three women with
those are the three leads of the three witch movies that came out within 5 years of each other.
Do you think it's a freaking coincidence that they're all starring in witch movies? Do you know how many times I was called a big-nosed witch? So that's also a problem.
Okay.
You're really drudging up a lot.
But you know I have like face blindness and I don't know what people's noses are big.
Oh, that's good because I don't have ear deafness, so I still heard it all, internalized it.
I apologize.
Got
hurt. For anyone who were offended, who misconstrued my words.
Well, they have meaning, and
yeah, but all of those actresses I named were up for the part in The Witches.
Really?
Yeah, Cher.
Because they have big noses.
I think they were just older actresses. I mean, not older, but
they
like, 35 to 45-year-old actresses. Maybe a little...
Tell me this.
In a little ownership of their sexuality.
Yeah, they're boss bitches and not witches.
There you go.
No, there's a reason. Because if you don't become an uber confident person in your unique look, then you become the side best friend fucking sad sap. Like, that's... Those were your options. You have to be like empowering, put your balls in my purse woman, and you also get to be a witch, or you get to be the fucking picked on next door neighbor kid.
I'm not. Do you think I'm disagreeing with you?
I don't know. I didn't mean to get so upset.
Well, all right. Well, this is a movie directed by Nicholas Roeg, and it was based on a novel by Roald Dahl. That's how you pronounce his name, apparently. As I learned by listening to an interview with him, where he, said great things about Jewish people. Just kidding, he said bad things. But yeah, it's pronounced Roald, not Roald. And
did you think lots of people who were listening to this are going to be like, nerd?
Well, there's certain words that you say where when you pronounce them correctly, you sound like an asshole.
Like Chile?
There's a lot of foreign words. But like the word, okay, how do you pronounce the word schism? The word that means like fight or rift or divide.
Schism.
It's a Tool song.
Oh, scheme? Schism.
Yeah, almost everybody says schism. Now, it's actually pronounced schism, but if I say schism, you're going to think
scissors, schism sisters.
You either think I'm an asshole or that I'm an idiot who doesn't know how the word is pronounced.
Yeah, you have a speech impediment.
What if you say, how do you pronounce the name of the Canadian province that speaks French?
France?
No, most people who speak English would say Quebec, but if you say it correctly, Quebec,
I'm not
Quebec, you sound like an idiot.
Quebec.
Quebec.
Gotcha.
All right, so Roald Dahl writes a book called The Witches, and they make a movie out of it with Angelica Houston as the Grand High Witch.
Whoa.
Hang on. The Witches of Eastwick is a movie directed by George Miller from 1987, starring Cher, Susan Sarandon, and Michelle Pfeiffer, and Jack Nicholson. Very different kind of movie.
Yes.
And then there was also Hocus Pocus with Bette Midler, Kathy
Always
Najimy,
three.
and Sarah Jessica Parker.
Isn't that interesting?
Not in Witches.
Always on the other times then.
Yeah, and all the other times, rule of three. All right, what did you want to say? I'll allow you to talk for this
You're
minute.
saying that as an anti-Semite who wrote this book?
Am I saying that?
Is that what you're saying, that man is from the old country?
He had a lot of issues. He wrote the Oompa Loompas. His publisher had to force him to change them from little African pygmies to aliens from the planet of Loompa Land.
All right. I more wanted to interject and just clarify this was written by an anti-Semite. I just wondered.
This is what Dahl said in an interview in 1982.
Okay.
There is a trait in the Jewish character that does provoke animosity. Maybe it's a kind of lack of generosity toward non-Jews. I mean, there's always a reason why anti-anything crops up anywhere. Even a stinker like Hitler didn't just pick up on them for no reason. I'm sorry, pick on them for no reason.
Maybe you tried to pick him up first and they said
End
no.
quote. That is Roald Dahl. That is not.
Is he dead?
Yeah, he's dead.
Good for him.
But yeah, this is the guy who wrote Charlie and the Chocolate Factory, Matilda, the BFG, James and the Giant Peach, The Witches.
Well, he really had a little soft spot for the old hag, huh?
Sure did.
Really liked to explain that if you're a crotchety woman, you're going to be left alone, and probably with your ugly sister.
But great books that we've read with our daughter, and she fucking loves them. They're very timeless. Remember, we read Charlie and the Chocolate Factory to her. She'd not seen either of the movies, and when Charlie finds the golden ticket, she exclaimed, "Yes!"
You have a much better memory of me. I only remember the tragic things.
But yeah. What's a load-bearing beam? I already said that.
Did we?
This is a movie that I had no exposure to, and just from doing some research on it seems like it's a movie that people, when their kids see it, and it really scares them in a sort of delightful way, but also in dude, when you think about it, that movie we watched when we were kids is so twisted. I can't believe we got to see that.
And I thought that that's what I would feel when I watched it, and I'm like, no, it makes complete sense why you would watch this as a kid. It completely redeems itself. There's something so safe about how sinister it is.
Mm-hmm.
And it's what you think adults think of you anyway. You're just in the room while they're saying it.
What do you mean?
They think you're disgusting. They think you smell. They think you're in the way. They think you need to be freaking exterminated. They think your opinions don't matter and that you're not really people and that you should not even be seen or heard. Isn't that what you thought?
Those are all things I think about kids. That's right.
No. As a kid, did you not have those feelings? You were saying last podcast that you did not like when adults that didn't know you, don't know your background, did not acknowledge that you were a mature 12-year-old.
It was my biggest thing that I hated, yeah.
To be talked down to.
I spent a lot of time planning the kids' rights movement that I would lead one day, but then instead I just became an adult. That's the problem with kids' rights movements, is everybody ages out of them.
Exactly. Keep saying that she needs to have some kind of a movement for kids, and I just have no heart to tell her.
Can I reveal what she said?
No.
Come on.
No, you
it's
cannot.
So funny. Okay.
She's taken it back. She realized it was not the right. She means it, but in a good way. I don't want to talk.
She said something very funny that I can't say. So imagine something terrible. No, she's very. Her ideas are good.
Okay.
But no, it's
you're proving my fucking point right now.
About what?
About kids not really being thought of as actual people, and that you can embarrass them any kind of way you want because they're going to grow up and they're going to think it's hilarious. I used to pick on them as a child, except for maybe they won't think that that's funny.
I've never understood the impulse to embarrass your kid. I really don't think.
No, I know.
That's
why I'm saying let's not say the things
to get to embarrass you. Yeah, oh yeah, I don't think it's that embarrassing. I think.
I think it was. It doesn't matter. It's just that she could, because of the kind of person she is and how much she does care about everyone, that she would be embarrassed that she made that mistake.
Okay.
Okay. Sorry to
Glad we
suck
brought
the
all
air
this
out
up.
of that room. All right.
But yeah, it's like when the problem with any like liberation of kids political movement, or there's always people will say like, well, why don't we lower the voting age to 16? What? It's not like 18 is a magical age where suddenly you have the maturity to vote, and it's not like we give like a. It's not like the ability to vote is contingent on how much like about the world or about politics. So it's like, why not lower the age to 16 or 15 or 2? Is because most people kind of stop caring about that once they get the power, and that's kind of like
and then they start to think that their younger self was pretty freaking stupid. So good thing I didn't vote.
It's true, and people who might think like, I want to work to destroy corporate capitalism or the power that corporations have, eventually become successful enough to get like subsumed into like the conference world and the world where they're hanging out with really rich people, and suddenly they're like, they're not so bad, and feel like
it's autobiotic.
I don't need to work against this world anymore. Same sort of thing. Which is that what The Witches is about? Maybe.
Children's rights versus corporate America.
Well, this movie, go ahead and talk about
this would have been
your history.
One of mine. Like everything else, I do not know. There was not an occasion to watch it. I stayed at a lady's house named Mrs. Barbara during the summers, when I was lucky, when my mom could spring for it. And she had this like, the kind of plastic box you keep note cards in for like recipes or just for whatever reason for organizing. And that's how she organized her VHS tapes.
Oh,
yeah.
Like Sally.
With tabs.
From
exactly like that. And they were just these black boxes in rows up and down her shelves. Probably where Probably where I got my need to have a Blockbuster in my house. But I wanted one with labels. Okay. Hers were all black, and she knew them by it would identify itself on the card. Yeah. And the tapes would often have more than one movie on them because she recorded them herself. So there was sometimes, how sometimes your favorite track of a CD, the track right after it ends up becoming a favorite too because it bleeds into it.
Sure.
Yeah. So I never remember what are the B-side for me, but this might have been one of them where it was just like Curly Sue and then this came on. And it's like, it starts off so dark that you're like, how did I ever? Oh, okay. Then it just turns into a romp. No. So
you would only watch this when you were at her house?
I think so.
Or that's how it started?
Well, because it's an HBO movie. There's certain movies I remember, they just wasn't a different way to access them. And she had HBO. That's how she had this huge collection on her wall. She could record movies that, unless you could afford a subscription to that, you didn't see unless you went and rented them from they didn't air on. What I'm trying to say is her movies that she recorded didn't have commercials. So they had to be from her premium cable.
My grandpa left me a chest of 1,000 VHSs that he recorded. Each of them has 3 movies. All of them that he recorded from Turner Classic Movies.
With commercials.
They do not have commercials.
Oh.
Because TCM was a premium channel that didn't have commercials. And it's like,
for
a long time, when he would tell me he gave them to me before he died, and he would ask me about them. You're going to digitize them? And I was like, sure, Grandpa.
I'm going to get digi with it.
Why would I do that?
God. Why wouldn't you?
What I was thinking, why would I want a grainy copy of Treasure of the Sierra Madre? I could just buy the DVD. But I eventually... Now, I've always I like that I have them. I'm never going to go through them. But if they had commercials, I totally would digitize all of them because that's the valuable stuff. That's the stuff that's not saved.
You're right.
Especially shitty local commercials.
Oh my God.
I want so badly to find...
Saves you money! Like that one?
I've been looking for Save a Center commercials.
Oh.
Because as a gift to Wade, a friend of the podcast, Wade Hemel, who would just die if he could watch the Save a Center commercials. Save a Center being this local grocery chain.
Oh.
So I have all these old VHS recordings that I did, and I've been digitizing them, and I get so mad when I realize that when I was 13 or 14, I edited out the commercials by hitting pause during the recording.
Right, or fast forward through them.
I'm so mad. I could never have imagined that the only reason I would want these tapes 20 years later would be for the commercials.
There would be no way to envision a world without them.
Yeah. It's funny. There's so many shows that I ended up liking just because they came on after The Simpsons, and I would see like the first 2 minutes of it,
Right.
like every night until eventually Friends or The Wayans Brothers or something would be a show that I liked. Just through like I've seen the intro to the show
it just needs to feel like
many
yours.
times.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and that's not something that people are going to have anymore. Well, the Witches. I mean, I guess that's what Netflix is going for with its autoplay.
Thank you, Netflix.
Is if you've already gotten this far, we forced you to watch this much so far. All right, but The Witches, 1990.
Oh, you're asking me. Barked up the wrong tree.
Directed by Nicholas Roeg and based on the Roald Dahl novel. And Nicholas Roeg is a great British director. Directed such movies as
Stop Shaking the Camera.
Stop Shaking the Camera. As Don't Look Now, The Man Who Fell to Earth. And this was produced by Jim Henson.
Shaking the Camera.
This was produced by Jim Henson. It was pretty much the last project he was very involved in before he died. He died in 1990.
Or was he turned into a mouse?
We're just asking questions, people.
That's right.
A lot of people are asking whether Jim Henson turned into a mouse. And Henson worked with Dahl on
such a doll
acquiring the rights to the book. Dahl was notoriously feuded with everybody who made a movie out of his work. He wrote the script for Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory and then disowned the movie because he hated what they did with it. He hated basically every choice that any filmmaker ever made, sort of Stephen King-like that way. And he feuded with the director, Nicholas Roeg, of this movie and was so angry that they changed his ending in which the kid stays a mouse for the rest of time.
I wouldn't mind that.
That he allegedly took a megaphone to a movie theater and yelled at people for watching the movie.
I'm normal.
He was
I'm rational.
Real son of a bitch.
Oh, it sounds like
There's a ton of great information about in Jim Henson's biography.
What's the name of his biography?
It's just Jim Henson.
Great.
It's not an autobiography. By Brian J. Jones, came out a few years ago.
Stop shaking the camera.
I'm not intentionally shaking it. I'm just looking stuff up.
It doesn't matter that it's intentional. It matters that it's happening.
There's a lot of good information about just what a fucking nuisance Dahl was, and kept, I'm going to bring my complaints to Jim Henson himself. But this was a very personal project for Jim Henson.
Why?
I don't know. He really loved this story and really had a vision for it. And his special effects team made the costumes, did the makeup, did the practical effects, and built the puppets and animatronics for the mice. Still, even appreciating all of that, I don't like this movie.
Okay.
What'd you think of it when we watched it this time?
I found it very watchable. I totally see what I liked about it. I love Angelica Houston. I always liked the grandma because she believes the kid right away, which is such a fucking relief to me.
That is nice.
I hate when kids aren't believed. And it's just like, if the plot's going to hang on you disbelieving this while everyone else is also going to disbelieve it, like, what else are we going to talk about here?
Yeah.
I do not like mix-em-ups, which we will talk about in great length when we get to fucking Child's Play. I guess I just really related to the feeling of being insignificant. Feel like this movie really got children correctly. They're besides the point. They're in the way. I don't know. They've got sticky fingers. I don't know. I just I'm so distracted by the movie being on right now. I'm sorry. Sorry. I'm just like, yeah, let's watch it again. I thought it was going to be like slow and grim in a way that made me uncomfortable. Like, who the fuck would ever rewatch this? But it wasn't. I didn't find that at all. I thought all the acting was good, including the kids.
Were you scared of it when you were a kid?
The only part that truly scared me was the part where that a living thing could push a baby in a baby carriage down, and the woman the mother, my baby, the way she screams always felt so real.
There is a scene where a baby baby pram is going down, the side of a cliff.
It was purposely pushed down
toward the ocean.
Yeah, off of a cliff.
To its death.
Which the baby survives. Does not go off the cliff. But
like probably most alluded to thing in movie history because that originated in Battleship Potemkin.
Oh.
All
right.
Russian Revolution movie where a baby carriage falls down the steps of Odessa.
I don't know why you need to tell me one where something does happen to the baby when I just told you it's the most disturbing thing to me that something almost happened to a baby.
Well, I'm so sorry.
Well, know me more.
Things happen
Anyway,
to babies.
There's certain times in certain movies where I feel like it breaks trust or it does something you just didn't expect in a way that makes me not trust it going forward. So that would have been one of those moments. But then it never happened. There's nothing that dark that happens again. So it regained my trust. But no, I don't think I would have been scared of this movie. I would have been anxious, but in a way that was bearable.
Were there movies that you can remember? Like, how old were you when you?
Probably pretty young.
What is pretty young?
7, 8. I don't know.
What movies scared you, like, at the time? Can you remember?
The Good Son. I don't know why I was watching that. This is why my blind spot is horror. I never had anyone to watch it with. I only ever watched comedies and romantic comedies. Those are my two genres.
And movies about witches. This is the third witch movie we've watched.
Sure. I love occult things or just things about others. And, but again, this would be a comedy, right? Is this a comedy? What is this?
I guess.
This is a family film?
I think what this is a horror movie for kids.
Then I guess, okay, so another horror movie for kids would be what, Little Monsters?
I don't know. I haven't seen Little Monsters. I
haven't made you watch it? I thought we did it on the podcast.
No, a movie that people often cite as a really fucking scary movie from when they were a kid was Return to Oz.
Oh my God. The one with all the heads in the jars?
I haven't seen it. I watched it in like 7th grade. I don't remember anything about it.
That was a fever dream. You're telling me that's a real movie? Is it the one with the heads in the jars?
Probably. I don't know.
That is such a fucked movie.
It's Fairuza Balk plays young Dorothy. She returns to Oz. Maybe we'll do it on the podcast.
Oh, what's another one?
A horror movie for kids? Good question. I mean,
in my head, Big Bird Goes Home is one.
Big Bird Goes Home.
Is that what it's called?
What?
Because the entire movie is about him not being able to find home, and for me, that was like the worst thing you could do to it. He just seemed so alone.
Well, yeah, there's things that scare kids, but
there was nothing that was fun about it. I want to say Babes in Toyland, also a scary movie for children.
I don't know. My mom talks about how I cried and needed to be removed from the theater during Beauty and the Beast because the Beast scared me.
Yeah.
Same with Cruella de Vil. We saw 101 Dalmatians in like a revival. Well, Disney used to send its old movies back.
I thought you meant like under a church tent.
Yeah, under a church tent.
Mm-hmm.
Somebody spoke in tongues and turned.
Okay, God, you really.
Her last name is Devil. But yeah, I don't know. I'll look into that. What are horror movies? It's like
funny.
Such a particular thing that.
But I never really considered that they were anything except for supposed to be fun. But you're absolutely right. There are definitely certain movies. Then I'd say The Labyrinth. No,
I've never seen Labyrinth.
How? Okay.
I've never seen Dark Crystal. I've tried to watch.
I've never seen that either.
I've watched like the first 30 minutes of Dark Crystal a bunch of times, and I can't.
That's all you need to know.
Go on.
Or the Never-Ending Story. That's another one.
Not since I was a kid have I seen it. There's a genre, this like collection of like Secret Garden.
Ooh, that's a real brain beam right there.
Okay.
I've seen that so many times.
Maybe like a Little Princess of like fantastical sort of movies with some horror. But there's such a
tragic.
And tragedy.
Yeah. Yeah, you're right. What the fuck was I doing?
So, I mean, this isn't a fun movie.
This movie, no.
No, I mean, it's fun to watch the witches transform. That's fun. I mean, it's fun and like, look at the Muppets. It's so cool.
That's not at all what I would have felt.
All right, so the movie's about
I like when they put their wigs back on.
This movie's about a kid who whose parents die while he's visiting his grandmother in Norway. And then he has to live with his grandmother now, but that's okay. He likes her more than he liked his parents.
Okay, there's no indication of that, but continue.
He says that in the narration.
No, he fucking didn't.
Maybe he only says that in the book. I read the book recently. They're getting mixed together.
Helpful. Mm-hmm.
But this is a kid played by Jason Fisher. You might remember him from Parenthood.
Of course
where he
I do.
plays Kevin Buckman.
He's a good little actor.
He was he had a non-speaking role in Hook when he played one of the Lost Boys. He played Ace. And that's it. Those are the only roles he ever had.
Well, he peaked too soon.
Don't think he's very good. Don't like to say bad things about child actors, but this character is English in the book, and they turned him American in the movie, but still said, like, you're going to live in England, because apparently this actor cannot do a British accent, but he also can't do an American accent. He's bad.
Then what is he?
So he's American. He's so.
Then how's he not doing an American accent? He's just talking.
He's not talking well.
Okay,
he's not a good talker.
He sounds just like a little kid to me.
His only movies are in movies that Laci Roth has selected for load-bearing beavers.
Whoa!
I bet he's honored. Well,
I've helped him live on.
He and his grandmother go to a hotel and resort,
which always seemed like a weird holiday. It doesn't look fun at all. I just want to point out.
Yeah.
The movie opens, and indeed the night the boy's family dies is the night she decides to tell him about the existence of witches. And then they manage to go on their one holiday, just to get over the death of his parents, to a witch convention. It's just
in an amazing coincidence. They're staying at the hotel that's where they're hosting the witches convention. And
doesn't add up.
Witches, to witches, kids don't smell good like soap. They smell like dog droppings.
Dogs droppings.
The
possessive.
That is from the book. For some reason, dogs droppings is the most disgusting way.
The most out of your way, disgusting way to say poop.
And he is training these mice. Why does he have these mice? Well, they'll come.
He needs to be distracted.
And he's in a conference room. He's in a ballroom. He's hiding. He's not supposed to have the mice, but he's teaching them how to tightrope walk and be circus performers. And then the witches come in. He doesn't know that they're witches, so he hides because he doesn't want the hotel people to catch him with his mice. And then they think they're alone, so they all take off all their masks and costumes and reveal they're witches. Oh my God, witches are real. And Angelica Houston plays the Grand High Witch, and she is very angry at the witches of England for allowing kids to continue being alive. They're not doing a good enough job.
Really not wiping them out. She realized there won't be any adults if they keep doing that.
In which that's like the charming part of it. I like that.
What?
Oh, they
just want completely dead children.
There would be an organization devoted to kid genocide.
Yeah, that is charming.
Yeah, it's not a good long term. Angelica Houston is the Grand High Witch, and witches apparently are bound by political boundaries. They can only operate in their own countries.
I'm sorry, I didn't know that. You must be mixing more stuff with the.
Maybe, but she keeps saying the witches of England are doing a bad job, meaning I guess the witches of Wales or Scotland or France are doing great. But you're only supposed to operate on your own territory, and she has a plan. We're going to give sweets to kids and turn them into mice.
The way she convulses her body, it stays with you. Whenever she's asking the little boy to come to the stage and she's having a witch-gasm. Just picturing her in my mind. It's very erotic.
It's very sensual. You just light a candle and just touch.
Stop!
Touch the face.
That's right. All right. Continue.
The reason you want to turn kids into mice and not just poison them and kill them is because if you poison kids, people are going to figure out really soon that there's some child murderers. But if you turn them into mice, it's going to be a lot harder to pin it on the witches, especially if you give them sweets that are time delayed to turn them into mice while they're at school the next day. Question.
If they're not also going to turn the adults present at the school, will there not be lots of witnesses that saw lots of children turning into mice?
They're never going to see the kids turn into mice.
Why? It takes a while.
Isn't it instantaneous?
Did it look instantaneous? They are only getting one dose, the kids that are going to later on transform. That means their transformation is going to take even longer. The kid we watched change into a mouse was given 500 doses, and that shit still took a good 30 seconds. You don't think there's a slight chance?
There's a hole in the plan. Yes, the teachers would see.
And all of the little wrinkled up piles of clothing all over the fucking school?
Yeah, because their plan hinges on, first they're going to turn into mice, and then you know what's going to happen. They're going to call the exterminators.
And
wonder... Yeah, not if they see the rumpled clothes, you're right. And also see the mid-transformation monstrosities.
If there's even just a few witnesses, I feel like this plan is not going to work.
Yeah. If there's even a chance that our kids are turning into mice, we can't call the exterminator. We can't put out the traps. I don't know. It's a stupid plan. The witches are dumb.
Hey.
That's kind of it. Oh, and then the main kid turns into a mouse. Once he turns into a mouse, I feel like the movie improves. It gets a little momentum, becomes a little more fun. Even so...
Grandma!
I don't know. He's just kind of running around the hotel. Oh, don't catch me, witches. Gotta save myself. Gotta save my grandmother. I don't even remember what the fuck happens.
I mean, that's basically it.
I mean, walk me through it. What else? What other good things happen?
When you put it like that, nothing great. Here, puss.
Man, I meant to look up the origin of that word. I wanted to know when was there a period in time when you could no longer say that word and it'd be plausible that you were talking about a cat and not
recently. Like
recent meaning the 1990s, the 2000s.
Oh, I mean, if you're in England, probably a little later. Yeah. Because there was the 80s in this movie, right?
Sure.
Going off of his pants, his velcroed, acid-washed pants.
It seems like when the movie opens in Norway, although it looks more like Germany, and they keep saying German words. I was kind of getting
snap.
Willy Wonka and Chocolate Factory vibes. It seemed like the town from Willy Wonka.
Okay.
Willy Wonka is a weird movie where it's clearly a little Bavarian town, but some people speak with English accents and some people speak with American accents, and there's English currency. And
oh my god!
All right, well,
so many people are relaying what you're saying right now. It's just crazy.
Oh, fuck off!
You
Laci.
Fuck right off, Matt.
Good one.
You shook the cameras again, you fucking oaf.
Well, I don't know what else. What else do you want to say about this fucking movie?
That this movie, I realized, watching it as an adult, is a metaphor for being a woman. That the characteristics of which. Oh, and they make it very clear that it could be any woman. Doesn't matter how nice she seems. It could be any woman. And I think maybe it's a metaphor for women who don't want to have children. Maybe. I think I'm evolving on this. Or women who just don't take to motherhood very well. Because their feet hurt so much because they're just squared off stumps that they no longer wear nice shoes, pretty shoes. Their heads are bald with scabs, and that's because... Really, women should just like keep up their appearances and like have really nice hair and wear really nice shoes, but also not be repulsed by children to the point that you think that they smell like dog's droppings and want them obliterated from the planet. So what I'm saying is, this movie seems like a metaphor for a bad mom. No? A woman that's really let herself go.
I like it.
I don't know.
Yeah, I like it. Good.
Great.
Good read.
Thanks. It's no heroin Lost Boys metaphor, but...
No, but it's your second best metaphor.
One day I'll get there.
Although it's not a metaphor. It's a... in Lost Boys it's a metaphor.
Yeah.
This one, Roald Dahl didn't think that.
What? He didn't think what? That women should dress nice and do their hair? And that if they're not capable, they must be fucking witches?
See... He could literally say there are witches. I was thinking it's more like it's ridiculous how people view women who don't have kids. It's like they're saying they're witches, and that's the problem, that people think this, not that. Okay. Where he's actually saying, no, if a woman doesn't have a kid, she's a witch.
She's a witch, and also if she doesn't keep up her appearance, witch. This man hates women so very much. Case in point, Rosa Bulk. He does not write heroine characters ever, right? Mm-hmm. James the Giant Peach, two hags of horrible women.
Yeah, it's true.
And so I think what he's saying is it could be anyone. You wouldn't see it coming because you think she's a nice girl, and bam, won't have children. Bam, lets herself go. What's up with her hair? Oh my God, her eyes are purple. And yeah, he just doesn't like. He also doesn't like women who would meet in a group like that. What the fuck is up with a woman who would go into a convention, who would have a life outside of a man? Are you fucking kidding me? That's disgusting. Witches.
He was writing to the producers of the movie, he felt,
dear sir,
very angry that he was being kept out of the loop. I do think it would be courteous if you kept me involved. You would rather have me on your side than against you.
Oh, I am a warlock.
They sent him a copy of the script, and he immediately wrote back with his comments. And then I'm reading directly from the book.
Okay.
Mostly unhelpful remarks like awful and stupid and useless. And insisted in black ink scrawled across the bottom of the page that someone please show to Jim H. End quote. The movie got some negative attention from real witches, from practitioners of Wicca.
Oh.
And Jim Henson had to do a lot of public relations work to smooth things over with them.
With the witches.
He said that where is the quote?
Please. This is interesting. Did he then have to do public relations for Christians who did not think he should have acknowledged the Wiccan community?
Good point.
Yeah, are you referring to the tips of their nose or their non-pointy shoes, sir?
Jim simply pleaded for patience. He wrote them in a letter, quote, while I am not an advocate of any one religion, I feel close to many of the concepts of the Wicca way of thinking. And for those reasons, I will try not to do anything that will harm any of you. End quote. Although he was a Christian Scientist and he refused medical treatment, which is probably why he died.
That explains.
Died pretty young and very tragically, and we lost a great person, a great artist. What do you think of the Muppets?
And when do I not think of the Muppets? Did you have more
like
to
them up?
say?
I asked what you think of the Muppets.
I think highly of them.
All right. We might do a Muppet movie soon.
Great.
We're in talks to do Muppet Treasure Island. But we'll see.
I don't love the movie. I don't know what I think of Muppets now that I'm thinking about the movie. Big Bird Comes Home or Come Home or whatever just really fucked me up.
Well, I'm thinking of Muppets proper, not the Sesame Street.
Fine.
But
I just don't feel like people treat Muppets well.
Did you ever see the Sesame Street segment where Bert and Ernie go into a mummy's tomb?
No, I don't know.
Well, that was the scariest thing I'd ever seen when I was 3 years old. I have very vivid memories of it.
It's like with the Bob's Burgers Butts and Butts and Butts episode.
Yeah, there's an episode where they just keep showing the assholes of dogs and stuff. They do.
That's the one?
Yeah.
Oh.
Well, that's the one that has that song, Butts and Butts and Butts.
Oh.
And she didn't like it.
She really
Which is reasonable.
I don't know, but now she likes it.
All right, you take us out, Laci.
I don't have any money. Just kidding. Take us out. All right. Well, do yourself a favor and subscribe and smash that subscribe button. That's how you subscribe. There's a movie for everyone. If you don't feel like watching movies so you know what the hell we're talking about here, I guarantee you've seen the great majority of the movies we have spoken about. And if you skip the first 10, you're probably okay because we really weren't that good in the beginning. And now we're amazing.
I think sometime around episode 62, we got good.
That's hilarious. Please tell your friends, and I feel like I've done a good enough job. Did I wrap it up?
You get the point. Goodbye.
Goodbye. Love you. Bye.
3, 4. Everybody, love bearing beans, love bearing beans, love